All the glory unto the Lord, great things he has done. All the glory unto the Lord, great things he has done. Welcome, our viewers and the followers of this online ministry under the name of Pastor Anne Emma. It's a wonderful day. It's a happy day that the Lord has given us. Today we are celebrating 15 years of God's faithfulness, together with my daughter and my girl Jewel, who is actually a miracle baby. It's a miracle baby. You are going to understand why she is a miracle baby, but together with her we have seen the miracles of the Lord, miracle after miracle, and this far we can say that God is Ebenezer. Why am I doing this today? It is to inspire somebody out there who is having a rough journey, maybe in the parenting life, in the single life, or maybe you could even be married but you are facing challenges. Another thing that could lead to your life going through hard times is because you have the calling of God. If you have the call of God in your life, be prepared. Be prepared for sufferings. A call of God comes with suffering, and that is part of what has made me suffer so much in life. Yes, though as you understand, my background of child abuse in the hands of my one parent and all those things made my life harder, but also the call of God in my life, the making of God, it has come with a lot of suffering. So I have my own share of sufferings. My daughter, my girl Jewel, she's called Rema Jewel, she has had her own share, in suffering. But today we want to thank God. So today we are going to inspire people with our testimonies. It is her birthday. Yes. I'm just surprised the way my girl has just grown within months. The other day she was such a tiny girl. Within about 6 months, my girl has grown into this young, beautiful lady here. Are you a beautiful lady? Say hi to our viewers here.
Hello everyone. My name is Rema Jewel, as she has said, and today is my birthday, and we want to testify. We want to testify on the goodness of the Lord that He has carried us all through.
Yes, when Jewel talks about the goodness of the Lord, we have seen it all. So if you see us, glowing the way we are glowing today, this is not how things have been. It has been a journey. We have not yet reached where God wants us to reach, but we are still on the journey. But so far, God has been Ebenezer. If He has come through for me, He will actually come through for you. So today it's a testimony day as we celebrate her birthday. So my subscribers, you are welcome back. My new subscribers, feel welcome. Please also, as you watch, remember to subscribe to this channel here. We do teach Christianity. There are so many Christian teachings right here. Another thing I would want to say is that we give God glory because of what He did on Wednesday. Yes, I came with a video in the morning hours of Wednesday during the Gen Z protest in the city, and actually it was countrywide, and I asked you to pray. Yes, so we want to thank God. Anyway, we have lost some few lives, but again, what if we did not pray? The worst would have happened. You can remember what I said. I said that I was listening to the young people on X, the previous night, just prior to the protest, and they were determined to get to State House, and I said, please let us pray that it would not happen, because that is a protected area. Anyone trying to get there, I'm telling you, they're just looking for death. And even that morning, they were on the streets, chanting and still threatening that they were still on their way there. And I'm telling you, prayers have worked. That plan was thwarted. God diverted it. And we have not lost as many lives as we would have lost. So your prayers, together with my prayers, have worked wonders. They have worked wonders. So today, it is a celebration day. Please, celebrate together with us. Thank God together with us. Let us thank God together. So Jewel also has a cake here. Jewel has a cake. She's reaching out. Let me give you. I'm quickly, how many of you will be able to have a piece of this? And some of you, you are so far away. Tomorrow is a D-Day. So it is a happy birthday to Jewel. Yes. So that is a cake. And I want to say thank you to one good lady, one good sister in the Lord called Christine K. Let me not mention your second name, but Christine K. Yesterday you called us and you sent us a birthday gift for Jewel. Yes, and actually there are some gifts that we have already bought. So Christine, may the Lord God bless you together with your family because of showing us kindness as we celebrate the faithfulness and the goodness of the Lord so far. 15 years of walking with the Lord, you know, with a lot of hardships with my girl. And actually, as a single mother, it has not been easy. So we really appreciate your birthday gift, Christine. May the Lord God water you even as you have watered my daughter and myself. May the Lord God bless you. I want to get straight away to the testimonies of today. And it is actually in stages. I will be talking about her birth because actually it was even very prophetic. Don't ask yourself how I got into this kind of a situation of singleness as a mother. If you have watched my videos on other channels whereby I have been interviewed about my life, on some of those platforms I have talked about, you know, how I got into marriage, short-lived marriage that actually was not ordained of God. And I explained how it happened. Those are the days of my spiritual ignorance when I was in the hands of fake preachers. And you people, when I warn you against following false preachers, you better listen, because those people are dangerous. They are going to destroy your lives. They are going to divert your destinies. They are going to destroy your destinies and all that. And I was just on that highway. So, also there is a video that I have done right on this channel. And I gave it the title, The Prayer That Brainwashed Me. Because actually when I got into that kind of a marriage, I was completely brainwashed. I was in the church for some time of this dangerous fake preacher in the city of Nairobi. He's still there. I'm telling you, oh my God. And so many people are still trapped there, but not as many as we were those days, in my days of ignorance. And he just came straight to me, you know, in a church service. And he told me, he said, how I can see you are not married. How old are you? So I told him, and he said, come here in front. I need to pray for you because God wants to give you, you know, a husband. And mind you, it is not that I was short of people to marry me. There were so many brothers who were coming to propose, and I had not made up my mind. So in the process of waiting, this preacher said, I want to summon your husband in the spirit. I don't want to talk much about this because Jewel is here and I want to respect her and I respect the biological dad, but I just wanted to make it clear to you why I am single and how I got my baby, because you could be asking, oh, this pastor, so she's single and she has a baby. Well, I was not single that day. Did she fall into sin and so she has a baby? No, I did not fall into sin. I got into a short-lived marriage that was not God ordained. It was painful from day one until when God freed me and finally I left. So now this man of God, in quotes, a very dangerous one in the city. So he said, I'm going to summon your husband. And he called me in front. He was praying for me. I don't know what power was hitting me, because every time he swung his hand like this, I was falling down. 6 times I kept on falling down, and he could tell the ushers, let her stand again, and she could hit me again with what he called the power of God. I kept on falling down, rising up again, falling down, and he said, I have summoned for you your husband. And I'm telling you, what brainwashed me, I don't know. Within a short time, I met this man of God, because I can say he's a man of, I cannot say that he's not saved. He's saved, he does not live a life of sin, but some powers followed his life, And the enemy was using him to terrorize me and to destroy my life and to frustrate me. And I cannot even explain the pain that I went through in his hands for the short time that we were together. And well, finally, God freed me together with my baby. I did not leave my baby behind. And that is how I started the life of singleness. It was not easy. It was not easy. I was not financially stable. I was doing ministry part-time, and I was also doing some small businesses part-time. If you have listened to my childhood story and testimony, even on other channels, different channels, actually it has been aired on different channels. I have talked about the child abuse, the rejection with by my only one parent, how I went through all that, and how my life did not get the right direction because I lived a life of an orphan, and so I did not even get what other children with a good parents, usually get. Yeah, so in terms of like going to campus or even going to a good college, I tried to take myself later to college, to get some life skills and all that, or to further my studies. And somewhere along the way, yes, I did well, but I'm not where my siblings are. I'm not right there. So I did not get to those high levels, professionally those days. And so I could not get a very good job. All what I could do were small businesses. And you see, when you are doing small businesses, because I did not even have anyone to direct my life or to give me capital, I could just start small businesses with the little capital that I had. And that says that I was not stable financially. And also, because I was preaching, I have never been a scammer in ministry. I have never done ministry for money. I have never preached for money. I'm not one of those thugs in the pulpit. So that also makes it, it also puts me where in that level. But I can say it's a level where God wants me to be. I know with time God will bless me in my faithfulness. But I have not scammed people to enrich myself. I have accepted to drink the cup of suffering. Yes, as I preach the gospel. So no offerings actually. What I have been doing mostly, it is to do my own things, like that. Those days I could do small businesses, yes, but today I do other things still to give me money. Yeah, I have my music, I have my books that I sell, so the books are ministering to people, and I also do what? I also, they also put something on the table for me and for my baby. So that is how life began for me, at that stage of life. I left with my child, and even before I talk of my child being born, let me say that her birth was very prophetic, because even before I conceived her, God revealed to me that He would give me a baby girl. And that is how I knew that I would give birth to a baby girl. She was very prophetic. That is why I named her Rema. So do you understand the Logos word and the Rema word? Do you understand those terminologies? If you understand the Rema word, so here is Rema, very prophetic. So I called her Rema. The reason why I called her Jewel, because she's called Rema Jewel. What did you say your name is?
Rema Jewel.
They didn't hear.
My name is Rema Jewel.
Yes, Rema, for Rema word, Jewel. It is because I went through a lot of sufferings together with her. So that is why I called her Rema Jewel. So she was a prophetic child, even before her conception. And I went around telling my friends, God has revealed to me that He is going to give me a baby girl. And yes, I got into that marriage. And at the time of pregnancy, I went through a lot of challenges. Well, how did I get also into the marriage, and how did I even come to have the pregnancy? we went through the right way, of having a wedding, a church wedding and all that. So after the church wedding, of course, I got expectant with my baby, and I was with the pregnancy. I suffered a lot, especially the hunger. There is a video I have done here, as I think I have mentioned that is called the prayer that brainwashed me. I have talked about all that. I have said today it's not a day for that, so I'm not going to talk about the sufferings I went through and why yet I was married. I don't want to talk about that today. So there was no food for me. I really suffered together with my baby, in the home. We suffered together. I could not even have even 20 shillings to go to a city council hospital facility for prenatal clinics. So it was at the 7th month, or in the 7th month, that I was able to get some 20 shillings to go to a city council facility. Yes, for prenatal clinics, you can imagine. So I did not have those scans. I did not even have those checkups, for the doctors to see how my baby is doing. I was just trusting in God. Yeah. So in the 7th month, or at the 7th month, I afforded 20 shillings. I went to the clinic, and I want to thank God, because all along I was in prayer in spite of a lot of sufferings. And the doctor said, your baby is well, and she's doing fine. Now, at the time of birth, I went to maternity. Now, there was drama. The devil was after my life, and again the devil was after my baby's life, because the hospital where I went to deliver, it is a church hospital. I won't mention which church, but it is one of these mainstream churches with big hospitals. Somebody had recommended had recommended the hospital to me. So I thought it was a good place, and there I went. So the devil was there waiting for me. After suffering together with my baby in the womb, a lot of hunger, a lot of challenges, a lot of sufferings. I really suffered. Now here we are. And it's my day to give birth. I met some nurses, and also a doctor that was on duty that day, that actually was used by the devil. So they neglected me. You can imagine a woman who's laboring, who's having labor, a woman who is in labor, but she's not being helped. Every time I try to go and call them and tell them, this is how I'm feeling, please come and check on me, they could tell me, no, your time has not even come to give birth, so you just go back. No, that woman did not know that I was a pastor. And so she could just shout at me. And my baby was really getting tired. I almost lost my baby. That's why I say she is a miracle baby. Together with all the other things that we have faced together with her, she is a miracle baby. Just her birth was a miracle kind of delivery. So I was neglected. I labored for actually 24 hours of labor, a lot of pain, a lot of complications. The doctor is not coming to check on me. The nurse is just coming once in a while, and then she takes hours before again she comes. And even the people in the ward who are coming to see the young mothers, or the people in the ward waiting to deliver, they were feeling so touched about this, and they were telling me, they were even thinking of acting. And I just said, no, let us just wait upon God. So at around or after about 22 hours of labor, it was now in the evening, and the doctor, together with the nurse who were on duty during the day, they had to leave, and now they had to hand over the work to another doctor who came in the evening together with another nurse. I want to thank God, because at that time when my baby was feeling quite tired, and I was thinking that I was just about to lose her, God used this doctor. So he checked on me and he said, do you know that you are supposed to have given birth to your baby a long time ago, hours ago? Do you know this is now an emergency case? Well, I want to thank God because of that doctor. He induced labor, yes, on me. And I went into, that time of delivery within a short time. And I want to thank God because they checked on the baby, and together with the nurse, they agreed and they said, the baby is okay. This is a miracle. The baby is okay. So that was another big miracle for my baby girl. Now, after delivery, I developed complications. The devil was not giving up. I developed complications. I almost died, actually. I don't want to give details of what was happening, but I almost lost my life. The doctor was almost having nothing to do. The only thing that gave me hope that I would not go but I would live, it is because of the prophecies that the Lord has given over my life, that he's going to use me in future, that my ministry is international. And again, I had already seen my baby girl, and I was telling God, you have not given me this baby so that I die and I leave her motherless. So I clung to that hope. And I want to thank God because I was taken care of in a state of desperation. Well, I was helped, and things went well, and I survived. After about 1.5 days, I was supposed to leave the hospital. Where was the money to clear the fee, the hospital fee, the maternity fee? There was no money. There was no money. Again, there was drama. But anyway, some people came through. Some people came through. Some close people came through, and they cleared the maternity bill. And there we were. We went home. Somebody actually had to pay for a taxi for me to be taken back to the small house. It was a bedsitter where we were staying. And even that bedsitter, somebody was paying for it. Can you imagine? And you are in a marriage. You people who always run to false preachers to pray for you. I'm telling you, what you are going to get from them, as in the name of a miracle, you are going to get misery. You are going to get distraction. So there we were with my baby born. There was no food in the house. It was a time of difficulties and a pain. Now, the landlord, who was a woman, and she was very, very hostile, she had already warned us, I don't want a family here. So just vacate, look for where to go. Unfortunately, we didn't have money, to look for a house to rent. And so the delivery came and found us there. So there I was from the hospital together with my baby. And you know what? After 2 days, the landlady, she was a landlady, not a landlord, she threw us out of the house. Where was I to go with my baby? And I was still really in much pain. Well, a friend of mine took us in, myself together with a baby, and for this man, he went back to where he was born in Eastlands. If you know Nairobi, you know Eastlands, yeah? So he went back there to his family house. Well, he could come to check on us every day. After 3 weeks, some people chipped in, and we were able to rent a house somewhere. It's a long story, so I don't want to get into that. It's a very, very, very long story. But what I wanted to say is that my baby is a miracle baby because I almost lost her. I almost lost her at the time of birth. And actually, even during the pregnancy, there's a time I fell down. The floor was slippery. I was doing every kind of work, bending and washing clothes, manual washing, of course, no washing machine. And I was carrying, I think, a jerrycan of water or a bucket of water, and happened to slide somewhere and I fell. For 3 days, my baby was not moving. I even thought she was dead. So that was still another miracle. You're getting worried about that. We are giving God glory. We are encouraging somebody. So those are the miracles that I saw so far. And well, let me just move to when she was now an infant. And we moved now to this house. When we were able to rent this house out of handouts here and there, I started having dreams about my baby, and I saw her getting lost. Now, this is where the big testimony is about how she could get lost. She kept on getting lost and coming back to me some years later. It started happening. But at this stage of infancy, I started having dreams that my baby was getting lost. My baby was getting lost. And this was a repeated dream. You know, when God keeps on repeating a dream to you, just pray, and pray seriously, because it means a lot. It's a serious thing. So I was praying, but it kept on coming and it kept on coming. Now, I thought a neighbor of mine who was very hostile, very hostile, would maybe steal my baby. So I was very keen anytime I went out, maybe to the shop or to do something to hang clothes. I was very keen about where I'm leaving my baby. I could lock the house because I thought this neighbor maybe would steal the baby. But it was not about the neighbor. Well, things happened. And again, we had to move out of that place. And now we moved to another place where the dad was raised. That is in Eastlands. Actually, we had to be kicked out because we could not pay for this house. Well, all that time, even before I met this person, I was preaching and I was doing some small businesses. But remember now, I am a young mother with a young baby, so I could not go out to do my small businesses. Actually, they were hawking businesses. They were hawking businesses. So at that point, I could not go out to look for money. And this person refused to work. If you have watched that video on this channel, the prayer that brainwashed me, I have talked about all that. So we kept on having conflicts about why don't you go to work, why don't you do business, and all that and all that. Why can't you put food on the table? Why do we have to depend on people, relatives, people on handouts here and there? And well, that is how we got kicked out with my baby. And we went to the house where he was raised in Eastlands. Well, it was not a big house. There were the sisters there who were also very hostile. They did not want us in the house. And there were a lot of problems. Well, my baby grew to about 3 years and a half. And I took her to school. Yes, let me say I took her to, I'm not saying we took her to school. I took her to school. By that time, I had resumed back to ministry. I was preaching a lot in Jericho Market, around that area. People loved me. People loved my ministry. I had opened a church in Jericho, which later moved to Jerusalem. And later, before I moved to where I am today, the church was in Kiambio, and the church was doing well. But remember, I have told you, I don't do ministry for money. So I also resumed back to business. I was already back, in a business, and I was making some money. So the little money I was making was to take care of my baby, and again, also to take care of the ministry. Yeah, it's me personally who could pay for the church rent. I bought the seats. I bought everything that was needed for the church. The offering was very small, so I was not depending on the offerings, and I have never really depended on offerings. So I took my child to school. Now listen to where now she started getting lost. One day after school, I got her from school. And I left her in the house as usual. At times, I could rush to the shops, which were just there, 5 minutes, about 4 minutes walk, just to dash to the shops, 2 minutes and 2 minutes back, yeah? So about 4 minutes or 5 minutes. So I dashed to the kiosk or to a shop. And I was going to get her a snack, to take with her evening tea. When I came back to the house, the little girl was not there. She was about 3.5 years. Yeah, she was about 3.5 years, going to 4 years. She was nowhere to be found. And I wondered, what has happened? Who has taken away my baby, my little girl? And I could not just tell how she managed to climb up somewhere and she opened the door for herself at that age. It was really a mystery how that could happen. And again, I could not even tell how she opened the gate for herself and she left the compound. How did you do it? Even you have no idea. Yeah, she was only 3.5 years. I'm talking about the faithfulness of the Lord, always protecting my baby and always providing for us. I'm inspiring somebody here. I'm talking about God's divine protection. Yes, God does not give you a gift and then he takes it away. So I started looking for her out there. I started knocking on the neighbors' gates. Have you seen Jewel? Have you seen Rema? Have you seen my kid? And everybody was like, we have not seen her. So I started looking for her within the neighborhood. I crossed from Uhuru Estate, because that is where we used to stay, to Jericho. And I started asking people, have you seen this kid? Have you seen this kid? She was dressed like this. Everybody was saying, we have not seen her. But when it was almost getting dark, I spotted a little girl in a uniform that looked like hers. And she was busy playing with another little girl, now who was a classmate. How she had decided to walk that far, I couldn't tell. How she decided to, how she found her classmate and they started playing together, I cannot tell, but God just placed her there. And God held her for me so that she could not move faster. Somebody is knocking. Tunafanya kazi. We are doing something, please, later. Yeah, somebody is knocking. We are doing something, yeah? Yeah, so she will, that is one of Jewel's friends looking for her. So you are going to look for her after this, yeah? Yeah, so that is how I got my baby. And we went home. I was trying to ask her, how did you even think of climbing up there? How did you even think of, coming to Jericho from Uhuru? She had no answers. So that was the first time. I continued to pray because now I remembered the dream that kept on coming to me. When she was an infant, my baby getting lost. There was an evil spirit behind it. Now that was the first instance. After some few months, or after about a year, after about some few months, there was a church service that was going on right next to our house. A new church was being planted that particular day. And within myself, I felt, let me just go and help and welcome this new preacher and just encourage them, because I'm one of the preachers who is on the ground here. So let me just go and fellowship with them and encourage them and welcome them to the area. And so I went. I was given the front seat, of course, one of the front seats as a pastor. And I don't know how my child, because I sat together with my child, I was very keen about her movements. I was very keen. But she left my hands. She joined some kids, because there were some children that had also left the church sanctuary and they were playing outside there, but their parents were inside. So she joined them. I tried to look for her and bring her back, but as a kid, she wanted to play together with the other kids since their parents were also inside the church. And so I left her. And at the end of the service, every parent was going picking their child from just outside there, and they were leaving. So I also went to pick mine. But I couldn't find Jewel. Once again, she was the only missing kid. Can you imagine? what a liar the devil is. She was the only missing kid. So again, I started looking for her everywhere, asking people, have you seen her anywhere? I moved about Jericho, Uhuru Estate, and it was very tiring. But I had some peace within myself. And I was telling God, you gave me this baby. And I have been praying against this spirit, that wants to separate her from me, that wants to steal her from me. So there is no way I can be rewarded, like this, that the child now has disappeared and she's nowhere to be found. So I have to find her. Well, after about some hours of searching, about 5 hours, it was already dark. I decided to take the route to Jerusalem, through Jericho to Jerusalem. Nairobians, you know where I'm talking about. And miraculously, I found a woman somewhere on the road, and she was holding my baby girl. And there was Jewel again. Now, this is the second time I found Jewel again. And I was like, oh my, you have my kid. How did you even get her? And she said, I noticed that this child, I have been seeing her in the same school where my kid schools. So I don't know her parents. She doesn't have details of where she comes from. And she's not expressing herself much. So I decided just to hold her here so that she doesn't move further and get lost completely. And I just knew that that woman was God sent. So that is how my Jewel got back to me. Now, a third time, it still happened. Today, I cannot exactly remember how she got lost the third time. But there was a third time that she still got lost. How did you get lost the third time? You cannot remember. She was such a kid. She was about now going to 4.5 years. Now she still got lost again. But again, God brought her back to me. Now the fourth time and the final one, it is now where the devil had decided that it would be business unusual, not as usual, because as usual she could get lost and I could get her back. Now this was business, not as usual, but unusual. It was the stroke that was to break the camel's back. Now, it was during Christmas, and by that time I think she was about 5.5 years at that point. There is a woman I remember who had become a friend of mine, not such a close friend, because as a pastor, if you are not a minister and you are not my mshirika, we don't get that close. But she had seen me preaching in Jericho Market all the time, and also because of the business that I was doing around there, supplying things, supplying items like diapers, like some other items I was supplying, within the neighborhood. So she had known me, and actually she had become a customer of mine. So she has had this habit of always calling me, and she was telling me, Pastor, I have this for you, just come and pick it from my house. So I could just go and pick, the way pastors just receive favor with people, and people are commanded by God just to take care of pastors here and there and to be a blessing to pastors. So I thought it was like that until now. This time, this Christmas time, the day prior to Christmas, and that is the day that Jewel was getting lost or got lost the fourth time. The fourth time and the last, because I really dealt with that spirit. Now, prior to that day, that night, I had a dream, a very prophetic dream. And I saw this woman, whose name I'm not going to mention here. I saw her in a dream. And I saw that she was sending some spirits, and she was throwing some spirits at me. Things that look like rats, a very big rat, kind of a rat. Some animals that had funny, funny shapes, yeah? And she was joyfully because I could see that she was happily doing it. So she kept on throwing them at me, throwing them at me, throwing them at me. Those were spirits that she was sending to me. So when I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh my, what is this? With this woman who keeps on calling me for gifts, what is it all about? Well, I went to my phone. Now it was already Christmas Day. That was during Christmas Eve. Yeah? So when I saw this dream. Now on a Christmas Day, early in the morning when I woke up, and I was wondering what is all this dream talking about. I went to my phone and I saw a message right from that woman. And she was telling me, Pastor, I have some Christmas gifts for your daughter. Please come over to my place and pick these precious gifts for her. Now, before then, she had a birthday party for her kid. And she called me and she said, Pastor, please, I would want to invite your daughter, your kid to my kid's birthday party. Please, just bring her over. And I noticed that it is only my kid who had been invited. The neighbors' kids were there peeping at the gate. They were not being let in. They were not being invited. But it was only my daughter. I thought about that. But again, I did not have a revelation. Those days, I was not as bright spiritually as I am today. So, I took my girl there for birthday. Whatever happened in the spirit, I don't know. I think she was still looking for a way how to capture her finally. So now, I read this message, Pastor, I have some precious gifts for your daughter, Christmas gifts. So I went over to her place, it was not far. And as she put in my hands 2 very, very beautiful new dresses. Very, very beautiful, very expensive. In fact, they were imported. I later learned that this woman's mother lives in the US. And she's the one who was sending the clothes. And those clothes could even be taken to children's homes. I pity those children's homes. That's why I usually ask you, if you have a children's home, don't be taking every gift from every person. Or even before you take any gift, be praying for those gifts. And even you personally, as my viewer here, don't be accepting gifts from any person because you don't know the intention. Some gifts are not meant for good. They are meant to destroy you. They are meant to destroy you. Not every person who gives you is genuine and sincere. Some of them, they are gifts to destroy you. Some of these people, they are Satanists. Some of them, they are witches. They are sorcerers looking for you. And so the gift is a point of contact. So I went for these dresses, I'm telling you. Now, in my hurriedly, because that day we were supposed to travel for Christmas celebrations to my grandma's place, quite a distance from the city, from Nairobi city, about 2.5 hours drive, and I had to use public means. So I just took one of the dresses and I dressed my girl in that particular dress. I did not even take time to pray for the dress. But when I woke up and remembered the dream, I prayed and I canceled every plan of the devil. I was not really suspecting this woman, but according to what I saw, I knew something was fishy. But now, when she called me for the gifts, I was not again sensitive about that. I was still weighing, is this dream from God or from the devil? Remember, I have taught you here that dreams could be of God, from the devil, and also from my mind, from one's mind. So I was still weighing. And well, I dressed up my girl, and we had packed, and we started off the journey to my grandma's place, in a place and a county called Nyeri. That's where we were traveling to, and we were traveling by public means. And we got to the city center where we were supposed to catch a matatu. You understand, matatus are these public vehicles. Just before I got to that place, where we could be able to catch the matatus. Of course, we entered the supermarket, did the shopping and all that. We came all the way, and now we passed through a lane coming to Luthuli, a lane that connected, Luthuli Avenue to the place, to Tirung, where actually we were going to board a vehicle, a public vehicle. Yeah, Nairobians, you know these places that I'm mentioning here. So, in that lane as we walked, there was a small pool of water because it had rained at night. And at that point, that is when I released my kid's hand, because I walked with her holding her kid and being very careful with her. So I released her hand because I had, a shopping that I had done. So I had a luggage on this side, another luggage on this side. I have a handbag, and now I'm holding my daughter. So I told her, I released her hand and I told her, let me first jump, and then you also jump and follow me. Then I hold your hand once again and we continue. When I jumped and I let loose her hand, looking back, I did not find my girl. I did not find my daughter. How she disappeared in a flash, within a second, I cannot explain. Powers of darkness are real, friends. Powers of darkness are real. So that is how I lost Jewel. Can you imagine? In the city center, with all the congestion of people, how do I even get her? So I did not know if to move forward or maybe to go backward. I was confused. But I decided first to look backward. I did not see her. I again decided, let me run forward. Maybe there is a way how she has passed. She passed me, and she's ahead of me. So I started running in that direction. She was nowhere to be found. Now, this was there is I cannot remember what that avenue is called. Just somewhere around Tirung. But I found a young man as I was checking in that street, as I was moving to and fro, and I was asking people, have you seen a little girl dressed in a white beautiful dress that looks like this? And everybody could tell me no. But I found a guard, a security guard, who told me, Mama, don't you know that along this street kids really get lost? There is a woman who does, the business of child trafficking here, and she has her agents in the streets, and they only need to touch the child like this. And how you get confused, you don't know. You'll just let your child loose, and that's how they have disappeared. So 2 security guards told me the same thing. And I was like, oh my God. But do you know what? I had a lot of peace within myself. I had a lot of peace. So I knew that there is no way I can serve God diligently and in faithfulness the way I have done, and then God rewards me like that. So I knew there is no way I could just lose my baby. And I was telling God, yes, God, though you have revealed to me many times in her infancy that she would get lost, I refuse. I cancel the plan of the devil. And my child is a miracle baby. She was prophetic. That is why I named her Rema. I have suffered enough with her that she's not going to get lost. She's coming back to me. So I held on to that hope. Now, in that street, I found a young man. Actually, he's the one who came running towards me. And he asked me, a light-skinned young man, he asked me, Mama, what are you looking for? Are you looking for your baby who has gotten lost? Your kid who has gotten lost? I don't even know how he knew that, because I was not going shouting that I have lost a kid. How he knew that, I don't know. And I said, oh yes, I'm looking for my little girl who has just disappeared. The way she has gone, I don't know. And he told me, let me take you this way and show you where she is. So he took me and led me in the opposite direction. Now, confusing me the more, taking me further away, from where maybe my child was. And at some point, we met a woman who was seated somewhere with a baby girl, with a kid, a little girl who was also dressed in white. And he asked me, is this the kid? I said, no, she's not the one. And he whispered to my ear, he said, well, I'm a CID doing my work. I'm only doing my investigation work, from the CID branch. Now looking at him, he did not even look like a CID. He was not a criminal, investigation officer. He looked something like he was on some drugs or something. He was not okay. He was part of this child trafficking group. Anyway, I started moving to and fro. I couldn't find her. I kept asking people, have you seen a little girl dressed like this? I moved this way, moved that way. Finally, I decided, let me rush to the central police station and report. So I went, I recorded a statement there. And I went back to the streets, still running up and down looking for her, nowhere to be found. Second time, I went back to the police station central. They told me there was no report about her. I left my details. Now I decided to go to Kamukunji police station. I recorded a statement there. I made a report. And they were not asking for my number, but I said, well, let me leave you with my number just in case something happens and somebody just reports that they have found the girl somewhere. And well, I went back to the streets. I was up and down. And then as I continued to pray, moving up and down, asking people, have you seen a little girl who looks like this? I met a woman. She looked like a servant of God. And she asked me, what? You look so confused. I told her, yes, because I'm looking for my kid. I've just lost my kid. And I told her, she asked me, but are you a pastor? I said, yes, I'm a pastor. And she said, because of the work of God that you do, your child will not get lost. Will not get lost. And I'm already interceding for you. Well, how God connected us, I don't know. So we didn't even have time to know each other further. So we parted ways and I continued to look for the little girl, nowhere to be found. Now, after some minutes, there was a phone call. Come to Kamukunji police station. Well, I really went very, very fast. And when I got to Kamukunji police station, I found a young lady who was holding my little Jewel's hand. And wow, I was relieved. I didn't know what to tell God. I didn't know if to collapse. I didn't know if to cry. I didn't know if to shout. But there was my Jewel. And in her hands, she had a snack. I think she had cried. And she was bought a snack. She was reassured that she would get her mom. Jewel, you are going to tell us. You usually remember. Yeah, you remember the incident? Though you were young, 5.5 years. So after you left my hand, what happened and where did you even go?
After I left your hand?
Yes.
I passed through a street somewhere, and then there was a butchery around, and then I went and asked if they saw a person.
Raise your voice for them to hear. So you found, you left my hand, you passed somewhere in a street.
And then I asked
them. You
if
saw a butchery somewhere?
Yes, and then I asked the butchery person if they saw a woman dressed in a red dress.
Oh, I remember the red dress now. I remember that dress that I could put on when preaching. Dress. Yes.
And then they said, no, I didn't. And then I started.
So they said no. Yes. They hadn't seen such a woman. Yes. Were you crying or were you laughing?
I was crying.
Yeah.
And then I ran to the same direction. And then I decided to cut a corner. And then I found a cobbler.
Oh, that is a shoemaker. Yeah. You still continued to go, crying on the way. You found this shoemaker, yes. A cobbler. Yes.
And then I asked him the same question. And then he said no.
You asked him if he had seen your mom. Yes. Yeah, because actually she told me that she went asking people in the streets, crying, have you seen my mom? Have you seen my mom? And at this point, I also want to caution parents, please. at that early age, there is a mistake that I did. I had not made her cram my phone number. That is a mistake that I did. So if you are a parent at that age, don't think the child is too young for that. Please let your children cram your telephone number. In case of anything, they are going to say it out. They are going to produce it, or they are just going to say it, and somebody is going to give you a phone call, or even the police. So that is a mistake, another mistake that I had done. Jewel did not know my telephone number, so nobody could reach me. So you found the shoemaker.
Yes.
And then
I asked him the same question.
You asked the same question.
And then he said he
raise your voice.
And then he said that he didn't see you. And then he hold my hand. And he held my hand.
Where's your English? Come on, stop letting me down, okay?
Then he held my hand.
Yes.
And then he said that I should wait.
He held your hand, and he said that you should wait. And then
I refused. And then I pulled off my hand, and then I ran.
Oh my! You mean at that part you didn't tell me? Okay, so you ran away. To where now?
I didn't know.
You were just walking.
Yes. And then now I met this lady.
And
then she asked me why I was crying. Then I told her that I asked her the question, and then she said no. And then,
you asked her if she had seen me.
Yes. And then
if she had seen your mommy.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she said no. And then I started crying. No, I started running again. And then she said, wait. And then she came. And then she said, are you hungry? She asked, are you hungry? And then I said yes. And then I went to a nearby supermarket and got a cake.
Wow, with a stranger. Well, I want to cut this story short because of time. But anyway, that is how she landed into the hands of a good Samaritan, a lady that I still love and cherish. I have her telephone number. I keep on speaking to her. She's called Wamboi. That is the lady who rescued my kid. Took my kid. She's actually a born-again Christian. Can you see the faithfulness of God? You cannot walk with God and things go bad for you and you lose your children just like that. God is always faithful. So this Wamboi took my kid, not for bad, not for evil, took her to the supermarket and bought her a snack. And how did you come across this other woman? You remember the Kamba woman that Wamboi told me she wanted to go with you to her home that is in Ukambani. And she claimed that this is a lost child. And so I want her and I want to travel with her to my home country. Can you imagine? And so what did you do? Can you imagine? In the process, okay, you bought the snack from the supermarket and you came back to the streets? Or what happened?
No, I had already met the woman before.
Oh, you had met the woman before. Yes, at the shoemaker's place, yeah? Because I later visited even the shoemaker and I got the story. I also talked to this lady who rescued my kid. She's called Wamboi, and she also narrated to me that before Wamboi got hold of my kid, there was a woman who was traveling up country. Remember, it was Christmas Day. And she was saying, she was demanding that she be given this kid to go with her to her home, county that is in Ukambani. And she was saying, this is a lost child. Let me go with her. Let me take care of her. And that is when Wamboi sensed some danger. Remember, Wamboi is a born-again Christian. And she said, no, if a child is born, she's supposed to be taken to the police station. So how come now you want the kid for yourself? You don't know her, you don't know her, the mother. How do we trust you with a child? Where are you taking her? And so Wamboi, together with the shoemaker, refused with the kid. That is now when Wamboi took the kid to the supermarket for her to stop crying, bought her a snack, and after that, you went to
The police station.
Kamukunji police station. After that now, Wamboi went with the kid to Kamukunji police station, and at that point, that's when they found me. They called me. I'm telling you, may God bless Wamboi. May God, I don't know how I will ever reward her. So those are the miracles of God. And can I say something? That was the last time I decided enough is enough. I dealt with that spirit once and for all. And I told God, this thing of my child getting lost, it has to come to an end. The devil wanted to get the child away from me permanently. So every time I see her, I see a miracle baby. And from that time, henceforth until today, my child never got lost again. God showed us his faithfulness, and we have continued to walk together. And she will never get lost again. That was God's protection. There are so many benefits of walking with God, brethren. There are so many benefits, like divine protection. That was divine protection. That was a very big battle. It was a severe battle for me. There is no way I could fight it without God being on my side. I'm telling you, that was a battle and a spiritual warfare in another level. Well, after that, a lot happened, and we had to leave Uhuru Estate. The marriage, the fake marriage, came to an end, and I left with nothing. We stayed in a kiosk with my child. We suffered a lot. My business collapsed. There were no customers anymore. There is a small kiosk that I had also, there's a kiosk I had rented, for business. And there was also another part of it, because it was partitioned, that was where we could hold our Sunday services, and we could also hold our midweek services. God had really given me favor with the people of that area, though they were not giving offering. So I suffered and I suffered. So finally, things just went down, and my business went down. I had to stay in that kiosk that was meant to be, our fellowship place and our church place. There was no water in it. There was no toilet in it. We had to keep on knocking, on people's gates, to be allowed to fetch some water with a small jerrycan or to go to the toilet. At some point, my child could not even go to school. I'm telling you, it was such a sad journey. Hunger and all that. So it has been a painful journey. But I want to thank God. After that, God healed us, and God got us out of those areas. He gave me a place for church in Kiambio. Actually, it was just a religious man who said, Pastor, I have seen what you are doing with the work of God, and please, you can be worshiping here. And again, the church was established in Kiambio. The church grew until when I left those sites, because I had to move out of that area as God was directing me, and I decided to come to where I am today. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about God's faithfulness together with my child Joel. And if you are a single mother struggling out there, or maybe you are even married, but you are suffering financially together with your husband, there is a God who lifts us out of those miserable situations, sufferings, hardships. They do not last forever. At some point, God comes through for his people. That is the reason why we have decided we just come together with my Jewel and we inspire people. We talk about our own experience because it is going to encourage somebody. So take heart if you are going through such hard moments. We have not yet reached where we would want to be, but at least we are not where we were those days. There are times we have held hands together. We have hugged together with my kid. We have cried. We have gone through hardships. There are days, especially like 2 years ago, she had to be sent home because of school fees. And she really wanted to study. She really wanted to be in class. And I can remember how we could hold hands, how we could join hands and call upon God together, how we hugged and cried together. And I remember at a time like this 2 years ago, we were going through a very hard time. So she had to stay in the house without education. And as we called upon God, God sent a man of God, actually a white man from America, and he sent us a huge a huge amount of money that cleared all our debts and cleared the school fees, and actually paid the school fees for some time. The faithfulness of God. God knows your address. Brethren, never give up. And again, never defile yourself and never leave the Lord because of hardships. So we have called upon the Lord together with my daughter, and as young as she is, and we have seen God work with us. I mean, work for us. And we have seen him do for us. God knows his people. So if you have not subscribed to this channel or to this online ministry, please subscribe. We shall continue with our Christian teachings, with our prophetic messages anytime God gives me a prophetic message. And for now, we want to say goodbye. Wish Jewel a happy birthday. Wish Jewel a happy birthday. So tomorrow, we are having our celebration, a birthday party right here. Yes, happy birthday, Jewel. So just wish her a happy birthday. Celebrate with us wherever you are. Christine K, thank you once again for your gift. Yeah, and we are not closing doors for anyone who would also want to say, Pastor, together with your daughter Jewel, we would also want to send you a birthday gift. We have not closed doors for you. My number is always in the comment section. And the number once again is 0721 9388 39. 0721 9388 39. This far, the Lord has been Ebenezer, and the Lord has been our help. He will continue to be help for you in the name of Jesus. Happy birthday, Jewel, my baby. I love you so much, so much. Happy birthday to you, my girl. May the Lord God bless you, people of God. Shalom, shalom. Celebrate together with us. Yes, celebrate together with us.